Good afternoon from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Monday, February the 8th market update. There is not really a lot of economic data out early in part of the week, so really the more significant data kicks off on Wednesday with the international trade, the petroleum status, and the Treasury budget. The dollar was mostly flat, and gold, silver, copper, and oil futures were all up, which was kind of interesting because the futures were all showed up as far as settlement prices go, but a lot of the ETFs like the SLV and GLD and stuff um, were actually a little lower. So it was kind of a, which I mean, it does happen sometimes. Sometimes there's a discrepancy there a little bit. So let's go back and look at the UUP. We're still got, we haven't overcome this high here yet. So we're still hanging out. A lot more volume, trying to sell. It's kind of a equal. It's one of those candles where it's just kind of a doji doing nothing. A lot of the buying and the selling was kind of pretty balanced. So not sure if the dollar's going higher or lower at this point. So we'll be watching that. The light sweet crude futures were up 70 cents to settle at $71.89 a barrel over to the West Texas Intermediate crude chart. Of course, we've been on a sell signal. We've talked about this. If the weakness oil continues, I guess it's possible we could get down to this 61 which is what the point figure chart is showing. So this bearish price objective, I don't know if we will, but anything's possible in this market. Doesn't seem to be a lot of interest in excuse me, in anyone buying currently in the market. So let's go take a look at the Dow. Dow closed down 103 points to 9,908. S&P closed down 9 points to 1,056. The Nasdaq closed down 15 points to 2,126, and the Russell closed down 6 points to 586. Nasdaq had the smallest percent loss, down 0.7%. The Russell was the weakest, down 1.09%. So take a look at the Dow. So we've lost to 10,000. We're below there. MACD's turning down. Now, it could be, there's a lot of scenarios could play out here. We could go back down here and retest this low and then briefly bounce higher. The way it's looking now, I'll be surprised if we overcome this downtrend line, though. They're just, the volume today wasn't heavy at all on the selling. So it's not so much, I think there's people wanting to sell right now. There's just not any buyers. There's not a lot of interest in buying right now, as far as, in stocks. So that seemed to be our problem today, because it was not a heavy sell-off day like it has been, and like it was like last Thursday and how it was Friday. So until they bought it and run it back up. So S&P, so now it looks like this 1,065-ish area is actually resistance right now for the S&P, so that's not good. So we'll be watching that. I looked at the 60-minute chart, and I can't really tell right now. It's been volatile enough that I can't tell if we're going to go up or down, or it's kind of a wait and see each day. The market is not cooperating and didn't get the memo that we're oversold, evidently. Speaking of oversold, let's go here. We'll go look at that here in a minute. Goldman, it's come back down and it's nearing that, that 150 support area that's been hanging around. XLF pulled back, down lower today by 2%. The banks didn't look too great. Bank of America, let's look at JP Morgan, see how it looked. Yep, it was lower as well. And get rid of all these lines I've drawn everywhere. So it's not looking good either. Take a look at gold. So gold, there wasn't hardly any selling today in gold. Like I said, it was more no buying than it was in selling in a lot of things, a lot of the various equities. Silver, same way. There was not heavy selling in silver, but yet it was down 1%, kind of indecisiveness. Take a look at the VIX. Yeah, the VIX was only up 1.5%, so that's another, told you that it wasn't really, it seemed more volatile today. It was just a very kind of a choppy do nothing day, and it didn't really even seem like we were down 100 so much. It was just the feel of the market. Let's go take a look at the sectors. 2 of the 16 sectors we follow finished in the green today. That was home construction, and it was the largest percent gainer, up 2.54%. Gold index was the weakest, down 3.34%, and that's mostly full of miners. The miners didn't perform too well today. So there's those. Let's go over to Chart Watch. And I don't really like the market right now at all. I mean, I've been kind of saying that, went out there and took a trade today, and and of course by later in the afternoon it started pulling back. And I mean, it doesn't mean it won't hold, but it it doesn't give you a real warm fuzzy, But I do like that since we are oversold, that it's back. Let's go over there and look at that real quick. We've been watching the McClellan, so let's look at that real. Meant to do it earlier. So we're still down here in this minus 74. I'd much rather try to go long something down here than trying to go long something up here. So we're in a margin of safety here, but I mean, we can be oversold and we can go lower and lower. I mean, obviously, because that seems like that's what the market wants to do. So this Jack in the Box is still looking good. Nice breakout on that ascending triangle. I talked about that one in the watch list. Buffalo Wild Wings, it kind of got rejected by this trend line. So watch for, if the market gets really weak, this could break down from that $45.50 area. It might come back down maybe to the low down here of about $43 right down here, the low of this large candle. So watch that. Kind of be flexible and kind of go either way in this market. China Agritech had a stock split, went flying above the, tons of buying. For some reason, everyone thinks they instantly made money because of stock split or something. But I don't know why people do that, but they do. They like it. Well, of course, they are getting it cheaper, but if the market rolls over, this is probably going to roll down here. But it's held up really well today, so you might keep it on your radar. Ryland looked good. The home construction, was doing well today. But it's another one of these, though, that if the market continues weaker, I expect these home builders to start rolling over. So be careful, no matter what you're in, long or short right now. Lennar is another one of these. Look pretty good today. Volume coming in. Another home builder. We'll look at some potential shorts here. This Athena Health looks like it's got resistance right here at 41. Had tons of volume coming in today on trying to sell it. So watch this for lower prices. Potential short. Intercontinental Exchange. Watch it for a breakdown of 95. It got rejected by its downtrend line today around that $100 mark. So this breaks down, it should have some I would probably take it back down in here at least to 87 or so, 87.50, or maybe even all the way down to here. Just depends on the market, but not looking too good. SQM, real high selling volume today, and so of course I'd like to get it here and short it up near 36, but it is what it is. So another one to watch, though. It's pretty weak. Abercrombie can't seem to overcome the downtrend line, keeps getting rejected, even though the selling hasn't been a lot. So you have to be careful on this one. But again, if the market gets nastier, then I'm sure this will go ahead and roll over. Coach, pretty heavy selling right here on Friday, and it came back up, but it can't seem to overcome its downtrend line either, that 35. So it's a possible short. Waddell Reed Financial, pretty good volume today. Broke down from its kind of a long-term uptrend line, broke through it today and stayed below at this time. It is kind of right here at the low, this previous low here. So around the 29.90 or so. So watch that, though, for lower prices. And Occidental, this thing has been in this channel for a while, but watch. So if the market gets really nasty, it'll probably break down, and this would be a pretty good 9-10 point move. So if it takes the energy lower, oil lower, then this could be a pretty good move for you. And if the market strengthens, you could probably go long here, at least up to the high of about $81 or so here, maybe even back up to 85. So keep that on your radar too. Let's go look at the current market signals. Follow the point and figure charts for the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P. And there's really no changes here. The Dow and the NASDAQ still on sell. S&P still on a buy. Look real quick at the S&P, see how much more room we have before we go on a sell signal here. So on the S&P, we need to print 1020, and we take out this prior column of O's right here. So if we print 1020, then the S&P will go on a sell signal as well. So be careful out there. Still kind of nasty. Again, there wasn't heavy selling today, though, so that was good. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining me, and remember to always invest